the Chiefs done messed up now.
I was going to go directly to Is That McNuts? Is That McNuts? Chiefs are trading a 2026 fourth-round pick to the Chicago Bears for Pro Bowl offensive lineman Joe Thuney.
A steal for the Bears. Thuney has protected Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady his entire career, and I can finally root for him. What he did to prevent those two quarterbacks from being sacked is a war crime. Now, you rarely see the Kansas City Chiefs make a move in free agency or the draft that feels like a mistake. I say that as someone who has been wrong about their moves so many times. I thought their secondary would take a step back after L'Jarius Sneed left last offseason. Wrong. I thought cutting Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz would blow up in their face following the 2020 season. Wrong. I thought trading Tyreek Hill was going to ruin their offense. Wrong. Can't win a Super Bowl with Juju Smith-Schuster. Wrong. Trade Alex Smith coming off his best season and start some rookie named Patrick Mahomes. Bad idea. Wrong. I'm wrong every fucking time. Every time I criticize this team, I'm made to look like an idiot. So what gives me the confidence to say that trading Joe Thuney will hurt them? Bo Nix.
When I was 7, we lived in Atlanta. I asked Jesus into my heart.
I mean, I am confident with Bo moving forward. Bo Nix could make me believe I'm going to be a billionaire. But pushing my delusion aside, we have finally reached the point where the Chiefs messed up. They made a mistake. They will be worse without Joe Thuney, and this is going to blow up in their dumb faces.
McNuts.
Have fun only winning one playoff game next season, Kansas City. You're so screwed. You're just a playoff team now, not a contender. Also not a contender, the Seahawks, who have granted DK Metcalf permission for a trade. I'll touch on where I think DK could land, and he will be a hot commodity. And as much as I'm excited to see more of Jake Bobo, this feels like a big loss for the Seahawks. And the Bears? You're trending up, so let's break down this rather surprising turn of events here on That's Good Sports. Don't forget to subscribe here. We're 2,300 subs away from hitting 715,000, and I want to get to that by the time free agency starts next week. So log into your grandma's email and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Benny, who's this That's Good Sports character? He's handsome. Grandmas love me. While it was no surprise to see that the Seahawks decided to release 32-year-old receiver Tyler Lockett, it was a bit surprising to see that move and then to learn that they will trade DK Metcalf. The DK Metcalf trade rumors heated up at the NFL Combine, specifically with links to the Packers. The Seahawks are kind of in no man's land with their franchise right now, so stockpiling draft picks as they hope to build for the future does make some sense. Now, the Chargers actually attempted to trade for DK Metcalf last offseason, but Seattle shut him down. They still make a lot of sense as a landing spot for a guy like DK, and he could be a little bit cheaper now in terms of the trade capital required to move him, knowing he wants out. Thinking about how much I'd hate to see Justin Herbert with a guy like DK Metcalf means this is 100% where DK's going. Devontae Adams is a free agent. Christian Kirk is slated to be released. Cooper Kupp could be available. Outside of Adams, DK is a cut above any available receiver in free agency based on age and production. He's had a touchdown of 54 yards or more every single season he's been in the league. I'm hoping the Patriots swoop in and take him far, far away from my division rival. That makes a lot of sense for New England, but since this isn't about money for DK, the Patriots' cap space kind of irrelevant here. The Chargers actually have 12 draft picks to work with, a few more than New England. The Bills could also be a player for a DK trade. Buffalo has 11 picks, but are in the worst cap spot of any of these three teams. Regardless, DK wants to play for a contender, so that makes me think it's between Buffalo and LA.
What? You couldn't see yourself ever living in Massachusetts?
Look at how long it's taking you to say the word. No. No, it's not a desirable place in my opinion.
Everybody missed it. Is that McNuts?
Now this was a chalky... What? Now, this was a shocking trade because it caught Chiefs fans by surprise. Tom Grossi and I talked to Cole from HBTC this morning, and a Joe Thuney trade not on his radar.
Yeah, definitely some concern. We don't see the whole picture.
Yes!
There's not really. Oh my God! Shut up, Perna. What?
You were scared for the first time in 6 years! Cole sounded mildly concerned about his team, which brought me great joy. Conversely, Bears fans are so tortured, they are simply waiting for this trade to go south. They can't even enjoy how nice this is right now because they fear a disaster outweighs any form of optimism they should have. Kenny, enjoy it! Now, the Chicago Bears are not fucking around with their offensive line. If you are a Bears fan, you have to love what your team is doing right now. Remember, in the Deebo Samuel trade episode, I said the NFL is a relationship business. And in the first move Chicago made, they traded with the Rams for guard Jonah Jackson, who originally was drafted by the Lions and played with Ben Johnson in Detroit. Now, the Rams gave Jackson a 3-year deal last offseason worth $51 million. He injured his shoulder in 2024 and only played in 4 games. That's why the Rams are fine trading him now. Assuming he's healthy, this is a big upgrade to the interior of the Bears' offensive line, which desperately needed something, literally anything to help protect Caleb Williams. But then the Bears doubled down on beefing up their interior and traded a 4th-round pick for Chiefs All-Pro guard and tackle Joe Thuney. Now, I can't understate how great of a move this is for the Bears. Joe Thuney has started all but 1 game in his 9-year career. He's better than advertised as a blocker. He's smart. He mentored Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith in Kansas City for their line. He will make the Bears' entire line better on multiple fronts. He allowed 0 sacks last year, and he played as a guard and then as tackle, and he was penalized just 1 time last season. The Chiefs, unless they say sign tackle Ronnie Stanley in free agency, are not getting better on their offensive line in 2025. Ben Johnson knows good linemen. He was instrumental in helping Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes turn the Lions into the monster that protects Jared Goff and paves the way for Sonic and Knuckles. The difference, of course, is the Lions built that unit through the draft. You still hope the Bears find another dog for that line in the draft, but you have to be excited that they have added 2 huge pieces before the legal tampering window even opens to address their biggest problem. It's like an alcoholic checking himself into rehab on his way to his surprise intervention. He recognizes the problem and took care of it before the real deadline even came.
McNuts.
How good is this move? Well, this is going to depend on Caleb Williams' development, right? How good will it look? You don't take 68 sacks by chance. If you become the 4th most sacked quarterback in a single season, a big part of that is on you as a passer. Caleb was, of course, being led by the blind as a rookie quarterback. I honestly think the Bears' offense would have been better in 2024 if Caleb Williams was just literally drawing up plays in the dirt every time he got into the huddle. We're going to assume Ben Johnson can turn Caleb Williams into a middle-of-the-road sack-taking quarterback, right? I don't think Caleb will ever be in the top 10 for fewest sacks taken. He holds onto the ball for an eternity, and this won't really matter if he doesn't take a big step forward with his decision-making this season. A big part of his game is extending plays, and when you do that really well, you're going to take a few more sacks. I watched Bo Nix as a rookie help the Broncos' offensive line play at an elite level simply by not taking too many sacks. It's hard to understate how much better the Broncos line looked to outsiders after Russell Wilson left. Caleb is young, but he has to find the balance between extending plays at the right time and learning when a play is over. If Bo can do that with good coaching, I believe Caleb Williams can as well. Why did the Chiefs trade their best offensive lineman though? Money and age. That's always the answer. They franchise tagged their other younger guard, Trey Smith. He's very good. And the $16 million in cap space this frees up will allow them to get the long-term deal done with Smith. That's great for the Chiefs. In an ideal world, in my own personal hell, they would have reworked Joe Thuney's deal to keep him for 3 to 4 more years and pay Trey Smith. And yes, I think Thuney has 3 to 4 more years left in him.
Joe Crankin' Wagon. Crankin' Wagon.
even at age 32. Chiefs fans thought they would extend Thuney to free up cap space, but I guess Kansas City believes Kingsley Sumatea can play guard for them moving forward. That could be true. They drafted him as a tackle. That hasn't worked out. But we've seen guys move inside and have success as guards. I'm also assuming Joe didn't want to play at the tackle position moving forward, and the Chiefs' holes are on their edges of their line. With Patrick Mahomes, all will eventually be fine for the Chiefs, right? A QB like Pat makes up for deficiencies that average quarterbacks die by. I honestly believe the corpse of Aaron Hernandez would have 400 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns with Mahomes at quarterback. However, the reason they lost the Super Bowl was because they couldn't block the Eagles? And they got worse. They moved Joe Thuney from guard to tackle late last season. We all know that. And that propelled them into the playoffs and gave Mahomes more time to throw with than he had all year. Letting the guy who was the second most important piece on your offense go for a 4th rounder isn't the best. If this were any other team, we would be laughing at them, crucifying them, mercilessly dunking on them. This is a dumb fucking move for the Chiefs. But just like Bears fans are scared that Thuney will suddenly become injury prone or regress, we are all afraid to criticize the Chiefs because they always make it work. That is ultimately probably going to be true even here. I think they are preparing for the next 5 years versus doing whatever it takes to win in 2025. The Chiefs may be banking on tackle Donovan Smith saving them. Smith was injured all of 2024, played decently for them in 2023 after coming over from Tampa Bay. Smith is slated to be a free agent, but could return at tackle on a team-friendly deal. Smith had 9 penalties, though, in 2023 from the tackle position, which is his biggest issue. Other than that, if he returns, he can be good enough for Patrick Mahomes. You have to grade the Chiefs on a different scale. Yes, Kansas City only lost 2 games last regular season, but the reason their offense looked beatable was because their tackles were terrible until they moved Thuney out. So shout out to Joe Thuney for being one of the rare offensive linemen who can move from the guard to the much more difficult tackle spot and play that position like a goddamn man. Unless the Chiefs overpay for, again, tackle Ronnie Stanley in free agency if he gets there, they're going to have issues on their line in 2025 at every position that is not center or guard. For that, I am thankful. They will still be good, but also go fuck yourselves, Kansas City. Nick Bonito is coming on Mahomes' ass. It's coming for Mahomes' ass.
McNuts.
And don't forget, today's episode is sponsored by Underdog. Just use my code THATSGOOD when you sign up or the link in the description. It is the best place to play daily fantasy or in pick'em games, whatever tickles your fancy. And when I say signing up at Underdog makes a bigger impact on this channel than anything else you do, I mean it. Every sign up between now and the NFL draft is huge for me, and if you've signed up with my code, you gotta make your first play. But all of you who played along with me this season, thank you. We gotta keep going through the draft. Thanks for watching here on That's Good Sports. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you don't, your football team's gonna trade away your best offensive lineman. That's just how it works. I got a special deal with YouTube to make it happen. Don't test me.